Welcome to the Craig and Greg Show, presented by Maximize Leadership. Now, here are Craig Owens and Greg Harris.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Craig and Greg Show. We are really glad that you are back. You know, one of the main ways that we communicate with you is through our words, and I think that sometimes we forget about just how powerful our words can be. In the book of the Proverbs in the Bible, there are so many things that talk about our words, and one of the most powerful ones is it says that in our tongue is the power of life and death. That we can, as we speak words to people, we can like literally speak life into them, or we can begin to drain them. And what a powerful thing for leaders. But I don't think that leaders a lot of times sit down and they might work on crafting a speech, but they don't really think about in the day-to-day words that they speak to other people, that they need to be taking people up with them.
I'm going to go back in time for the viewers. Don't judge us, but there used to be that thing said that word up.
Yeah.
Word up, whatever
Yeah.
it is. So maybe whatever they did. I don't know. I wasn't there in the gang, but anyway.
Come on, you were.
I wanted to be, but they said I couldn't run fast enough. I don't know. Anyway, so the word up though is it's a word down as well.
Yes.
So you're using that proverb verse. Yeah, we can elevate people or we can eliminate people, and it's very dangerous, and it's very tough for us leaders to know, did we? And then you hear, oh, wow, we crushed them. Didn't know it.
Yes.
But I think the point for words, I don't think we want to walk on eggshells. That's not really leading.
Right.
But I think being coachable, like, hey, did I pick the wrong adjective? Did I come at you and did I give you the wrong spacing? Did I interrupt something that you were thinking something different and all of a sudden I just blasted you? I think leaders have a wonderful opportunity to kind of take a step back and say, what do I say? And how is it received, and many other questions. Yeah.
Well, now we've talked before about love languages, and one of the love languages is words of affirmation. And I think that we run the risk of saying, oh, well, there's some people that I just need to speak words of affirmation to, but other people I can sort of ignore. But that's not really the case, especially because one of the things that, if you've read Dr. Gary Chapman's book, is he says, when you speak somebody's or share it with them their primary love language, he uses this analogy. He says their love tank gets full, and when somebody's love tank is full, all 5 of the love languages work. And so we're really talking about all of our employees, all of our team members, whether their love language is words or not, that we can still be putting something into them that is going to really kind of lift them. And so we need to be cautious of that. So we're not talking about limiting this to just that one group of people that words of affirmation is their love language. We're talking about everybody needs to have the positive words.
They do. I think the human touch is involved in the words, because you could go in a big city and there's thousands of people on a sidewalk waiting to cross the road in traffic, and not one positive thing is ever uttered.
Yes.
And if you watch the crowd, their heads are down. Very few will you ever see someone either smiling or a contented look. It's often grinding.
Yes.
It's like, well, I wouldn't want to talk to them.
Right.
I think let's tie in the word where we're planting seed in people, right?
Yes.
So we're fertilizing, we're helping them grow, and we're going to make mistakes. And so when words do injure or damage, one of the first things I have learned the hard way is you have to ask forgiveness. That doesn't mean that we're still not going to have this to talk through and work through, but at least the person knows I have valued the power of my words, and my goal wasn't to crush them.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think we are wrong when we teach people that, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not true. Words hurt as much, maybe even more so, than having a rock thrown at you. And I think that we need to be really careful. This is you talked about rewinding before, and I'll rewind to my immature days. I could tell something when I would say something to somebody, I could see the pain on their face. Exactly. And you know what my first response was self-justification. That was the immature response, to say, they should have known I was joking. Toughen up, Buttercup. You should have, not, right. Don't be so fragile about this. That shouldn't be our response as the leader. Our response should be, oh, that word just hurt you. I am sorry that I said that. Can we talk about this?
Right. And it gives a chance to maybe grow a little deeper, because we do know words. Like, you're right. You know, if I punched you in the arm, in a minute or so, it's going to go away. You might have a little red mark, but if I said something very personal that only I knew how to get in to do that, that is very tough to heal.
Yes.
Unless I really find out right away and get in there. Like, I don't want it to, kind of cauterize or harden. I'm really sorry I said that. That is totally not my position. That's not how I feel. I was just in a bad mood, and no excuse. I shouldn't have done that. The punch kind of goes away, and you might step back a little bit physically, like get away from, like, I can't reach you. But words, they can reach across the world.
Yeah, well, because you pull out your phone and just fire something off real quick.
Yeah. So I think it's been very fun to watch when you improve your leadership communication skills. When you see someone kind of, really?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, you absolutely. You can see them physically.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fun. And it's not manipulation. Please don't make it that.
No.
It's just pure. It's so fun. I was driving with a buddy playing golf, and he happened to say something. I said, you know what I appreciate about you? You just tell me the way you feel. Whether I agree or understand it all or can put it all together, I'm just glad you feel safe. And it just changed him. Mm-hmm. Oh. I mean, he might have said something and wondered, oh boy, did I get in trouble? I just like it that you're real. But I also like it real. We can come back and say, if you're in a meeting, it probably isn't the adjective you should use, or
right. Absolutely.
Whatever, yeah.
Well, and I think I love the reminder, and I don't know who said it first, but people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. And if they know that you really care about them, then you can speak a quote unquote hard word to them, and they will receive that. And they'll say, they really, since we talked about Proverbs earlier, there's one proverb that I really appreciate that says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. And that kind of goes to what you said a couple minutes ago. An enemy will multiply kisses because they're trying to manipulate you. Or flatter you, to try to get an event. But a friend says, listen, I love you enough to say, you didn't handle that very well, or I love you enough to say, this path that you're on right now, you're going to go over a cliff. And so you may not want to hear these words, but I love you too much to not speak, to keep the words in. I've got to speak them to you. And so I think that's, you develop that relationship. And then, like you just said, I appreciate you telling me like it is, but that he cares about you. Right.
And because I give you the freedom to tell me like it is, I have the freedom, reciprocity-wise, to respond well, So I think good words, are, and we don't even know, Craig, really, as leaders, sometimes we're like, oh, wow, we made a great impact. Fortunately, God doesn't give me that a lot, because I don't know what I would do with all that. Right. Good news, But I think good soars people. It elevates. It makes them maybe even try more than they would have dared on their own. A little bit like a coach. Contact us about coaching. Right. But I think the negative can sour. And then the person comes into that meeting, or they come back to work the next day, or maybe it's a loved one. They come home, or, you're like, a little bit estranged here. We're farther apart than we were yesterday. But that's a leader's cue. Like, okay, so what did we do here? So soaring just feels so great, but souring is like, oh, I got to help them back up. And that's our job as leaders. We're developing them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one of the things that, within the kind of arena of words, you can figure out what words are connecting for people. Did they want praise? Do they respond to praise for something that they did, or is it praise for an attribute that they exhibited? So you couldn't necessarily say, the way that you filled out this report, but you say, oh, this person responds better when I say, I appreciate how you always cross the T's and dot the I's. You always make us look good because you go the extra mile. You're talking about not the physical report. Hey, good job getting that report done. Right. For some people, that speaks to them. Right. For other people, it's more of the bigger picture. It's the attribute behind it. And that's part of what we get the joy of as leaders, as we get to know our people. you can read that cue in their face that when you say that, you're like, okay, that word didn't cut them down, but I didn't see them soar with that one either.
Right.
So I got to try again. What do they want to hear? How do I speak this in a way that makes them just go whoosh?
And so this is a challenge for the listeners and viewers. So you go to Google search box and put in effective communication. I'm not really sure how to describe that, define that, but I just pulled it up. And I want them to look, but the number is unbelievable on how many blogs, articles, searches have prompted up. You want to tell the number, or you want them to do it?
Oh, they need to, because nobody's going to guess this number.
So effective communication is at almost 2 billion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so just those two words, not communication.
Right.
That's like 17 zillion.
Right.
But effective, like that, isn't that what we want to be as leaders? Like I want to be effective. I'm not necessarily wishing to be efficient all the time.
And that's you got it. That's what so many people are. It's almost like I have a limit of how many words I can say because I want to be efficient with them.
I just strive for effective. It might take 2 coffees. Mm-hmm. It might take 2 meetings because you have to circle back because feelings got hurt, whatever. I'm not really talking about for us today about like I got my feelings hurt or I'm offended. Right. That's another whole story. But I think when we're leading and we're looking to get everybody in the huddle, everybody in the playbook. Yep. We're on the field now, and I think effective communication is really an art and a science, and that's our challenge as leaders. It's, I misinterpreted you. No, you actually don't believe that I am a good person, or you've never said anything good about me or in a while. I like the noticing element for words. There's no way for us really to know how to communicate. I mean, we hang out a lot, so I know what to do with you and how to help or move you or help you or serve you. But I think when people are in a business setting, there's a little facade sometimes, and job security, but I think the whole art science, it's not one or the other. It's really both. Communication, unfortunately, it's tough to maybe unravel an injury. Mm-hmm. And there's where I think our servant leadership, your book is beautiful. It's servant leadership is I paid attention and I messed up. I respect you too much as my teammate to not address this. I'm really sorry. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you just said too about kind of like, figuring this thing out. It reminds me that Max DePree wrote a book called Leadership Jazz.
Jazz?
Yeah. And the idea is that, in a jazz band, you got people that are kind of experimenting a little bit. Right. I'm gonna try this on the bass. I'm gonna try this on the drums. I'm gonna try, and you get the feedback from the rest of your teammates. The rest of your bandmates are going, all right, I like what you just did there with the bass. Let's do that again because now I can build off of that. Now you've given me something, and that's what I think starts in the team when you do something with somebody. You used the word earlier, reciprocity. Then they said, "Oh, okay. So now that I know the notes that you're kind of singing here, does that mean that I can do it like this?" And then you can say, "Yeah." And then other people are watching and go, "Hey, I want to get in on this," and it becomes this beautiful thing among the whole team. I like it. It's it's this living organism. It's not just this static it's bunch of machines in here that are just running. No, we're humans and we all interact and kind of play some jazz together.
I like that. That's a great one. Rich DeVos, Amway co-founder, wrote a book, 10 phrases everyone should memorize and use. And it's words. And some of them are just beautiful. And it's kind of a common sense book, apparently not common, because it's so tough to say those 10, like I was wrong, I'm proud of you, can I try again, I believe in you, I love you, you're amazing. Just all those things that are phrases that in his book, it's a great book. It's quite a nice read. He gives examples. He was a very good leader and communicator in his own right. But I love the phrases that they prompt. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I mean, these are really hard things for many people to say. Right. And as us leaders, we kind of have to take the band and march through those words. Yep. So I think those phrases can be practiced. And then they want to see if they're real. Yep. They want to test us. Like, are you really wrong?
Yeah.
Or is that an excuse?
Or are you just saying the words?
You're
right?
exactly.
Well, let me. I wanted to share something. It kind of ties in with something that you do really well, but it just made me think of it a little. It popped to my mind when you said this thing. I think leaders, listen, one of the most beautiful words that you can say to your teammates are their names. When you call people by name.
Very good.
And this is one of the things that I love about you. And years ago when we met, that I don't want to give away how many.
What did he say?
It's one of the things that you actually, in me watching you, it challenged me. You are excellent at remembering and using people's names. Mm-hmm. And I said, I got to challenge myself to do that. And I know some people are going to go, I just don't have a very good memory. No, you can do that. There's some books that you can look up that'll give you some little tools to help you remember names. But that just sings to people. So here's what I was just, I was just this morning, I was in a room with about 15, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids. Very active room.
Oh, really?
Okay. I'm sitting at a table. I'm doing an activity with a couple of kids, and I look across the room, and there's one young man that's getting ready to. I could see it in his eyes. He's getting ready to do something, and I just saw him, and I called him by name. This isn't his name, but I just looked, and I just go, Henry. The room is loud, and I did not raise my voice. I just went, Henry, and he turned and looked like this. He could hear his name above all the other noise, and when he looked at me, I just went like this. It's just not a good choice. But you know what was really interesting to me is that then some of these other kids would come up to me after that, and just in the next couple minutes, do you know what my name is?
What?
And I'd say, yeah, your name is this. And then, do you know what my name is? They're like literally calling me out. Now, I don't think adults don't usually do that. They don't usually come up and go, do you know my name? But they're listening. If you're going, so you guys work,
hey, you guys,
you're going to work with him who?
Yeah.
You know, Steve over here. You're going to work with Steve. You know, right. When you say their name, that says to them, you really care about me. You care to get to know me, and so thanks for setting that example for me.
I have a challenge for us publicly.
Okay.
Obviously, over time, we have more cultures in America, more cultures in the world you have access to. And pronunciation of names is not easy if someone's from another country, another culture that I'm not in.
Right.
Like I don't know how to say that. So I've tried this for the last couple years now. If you meet someone from another country or at least have a ethnicity difference, so tell me how your mom and dad pick that name and how they say it.
Yes.
Oh, my Lanta.
I like that.
The people are like, I got goosebumps telling you. It's like, you want to, oh, it's Aluna. Oh, I wouldn't have spelled it that way. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's Mediterranean or whatever. Very cool. But it also helps me remember.
Yes. Yep.
So Mediterranean Aluna, not Alona.
Right.
That's what I thought it looked like. Alona. I'm like, who would do the Alona? It's like a baby in a crib by themselves, Alona.
Right.
But I think the tying it into how did your parents pronounce this? Because I'm not going to call you the wrong pronunciation.
Right.
Many will give you grace. No, that's okay. I know it's hard to pronounce. No, I'd like to practice with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me how to say it the right way.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So the mileage of that is really big. Like,
yes.
Ours are easy. Maybe they forget it, but some are very tough to pronounce. And I think that's really key. Like, how do they pronounce it? I want to know how to do that.
I like that.
Oh. So I have a friend who I've been recruiting to become one of our coaches.
Okay.
And he works for a very large organization. And I think maybe, it's getting a little dry, a little tiring. Maybe they're looking to move on. He's been doing this a long time. So I just happened out of the blue, just thought, all right, God, I'm going to talk to him and just, help him. I think I don't know why. So I just, hey, I believe in you, Bill. And that's not his real name. Hey, Bill, I believe in you. What are you going to do the rest of your life? What's the next chapter? I sense you're kind of struggling. Unbelievable. Like, just the words to say, tell me what you want to do. What's going on? So I just happened to send him just a note of encouragement, which I really a spouse leaders, it's so easy to text an encouragement, write an encouragement on a little note, personal notes. I love them.
Yep. So
I wrote him a personal note, and he goes, "I can't believe you sent an envelope to my house." I don't know what the stamp was, 56 cents or whatever. Well, I'd pay more than 56 cents, but he says, "It's not the 56 cents. You had to do it. You pulled out a card, you put it in an envelope, you licked the stamp, you put the address on there. You did all those steps, and you could have said, forget it, I'll just text him." Texting's not bad. It's okay. Right. But he just wrote me this morning. He goes, I don't know how you do that. And I wrote back, "What are you talking about?" You just knew what to say.
Yeah.
And I think we have to slow down as leaders. This might be our chance to land here. Slow down as leaders so either God can prompt or you can get rid of the clutter.
Yes.
And really find out, hey, I haven't really encouraged Craig and Betsy lately. I need to do that to them as a couple. I really love them. I think they're amazing. So you have to slow it down yourself.
Yes.
Instead of being a taker, you got to be a giver. Yep. And then writing things or sending things or just mentioning things. So, following up, hey, how did it go with your son or your dad or, how did it go with the team or the school? Oh, you really care?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have asked, but I think it's so new. And as leaders, if we really want to have a unique impact, we have to find these ways that really worked and we maybe got away from.
Yeah.
So there's one quote
I want you to share that.
You want to do that one?
No, you share it.
I don't even know who this person is. I'll give him credit. So it's Gemma Troy. I looked it up and I'm like, I don't know who they are. I better look up more. They might have better quotes too. But it's, "Your words can plant gardens." And I thought, that's a very visual sentence. Mm-hmm. Or, "Burn forests down." And I thought, I'm not really, I don't want to do much more burning down anymore. Yeah. I want to be free of it. And people aren't competition. We're in this world together. We're collaborating. We all want to end up together, and I'm not, we're all the same, but it's like, I just want to collaborate. I want to compete. And words tend to get rid of the competition when you say really heartfelt things where they're going to test you. So anyway.
Well, listen, Greg mentioned earlier about coaching. One of the things that is really valuable for you when you have a coach is it's somebody who can sit in on a meeting. They can ask questions and they can listen to your words and they can even watch the response. Some of the things that you would take for granted that you wouldn't see in yourself or hear in yourself. And we as coaches can listen and say, if you said it that way to your team and you didn't get this response, maybe you should try it like this. Or we noticed as we were watching. And so that's what we love to do in coaching scenarios. So if you go to maximizeleadership.com, you'll find a page on there about coaching. You can scroll down to the bottom. There's a form on there. Just fill it out and just say, I'm wondering about this. Can you coach me on this? Or this is what I'm struggling with, or this is where I think I need a little improvement. We'll read those. We'll get back to you. We'll give you an honest assessment of what we might be able to do to help you. And so that's where we want to get very specific with you. If you've got some general thoughts about, hey, I think this would be a good topic to cover, you could leave a comment below on this video, or you could reach out to us on Twitter at Maximize Podcast and just say, hey, how about a topic like this on an upcoming episode? We'd love to get that kind of suggestion from you. We're here to resource you. We want you to soar in your leadership. We want you to go beyond maybe where you thought a barrier was before and to just hit new heights. And that's why we're here, sharing with you the things that we've learned over the years, and hopefully some of our hindsight can be your foresight and help you break free. So make sure as well, when you subscribe on YouTube, click that bell so that you're notified. There's a lot of great content that comes out, not just these full episodes, but some short clips as well. Greg has a series of videos that are called Max Minutes, and they are just what you think they would be. They're going to be, you can bring maximum impact to you in a minute or less. And so make sure that you subscribe so that you can find out all of those videos as they come out. Stay in touch with us. We want to continue to resource you. We got more great content coming soon.
Word up.
Get in touch with Craig and Greg through Twitter at Maximize Podcast or at MaximizeLeadership.com. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of The Craig and Greg Show.